Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nurturing Astrology podcast. I'm Dominique Jaramillo, your astrologer and host. I believe astrology can fast-track personal growth, improve relationships, and empower parents. On this show, I will bring you practical guidance and insight from my own work, studies, and life experiences, as well as interview experts to bring you stellar wisdom from other teachers and professionals to inspire you on your journey. I'm so glad you're here and thanks for tuning in. So sit back, enjoy the show, and be sure to follow, like, and subscribe to catch every new episode as soon as it drops. Your shares and reviews are also much appreciated to help more people benefit from nurturing astrology. Okay, let's dive into today's show. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nurturing Astrology. I'm Dominique, your astrologer and host. Today, I am here back with my girl, Tara Kinden. She's my soul sister, friend, my HD guru. I go to her for all the HD goodies. And also, she's like high vibe and like so inspiring, especially for women and us moms. As women, that's who I represent. Whoop, whoop, the moms, the mamas. Right. And so you've been doing such great work, Tara. First, welcome. Thank
you.
Venus is like on fire. So we're like, la, 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 la. We've had busy days, but yeah. So in terms of HD and astrology for parenting, that's my jam, but I love your concept in terms of energy. And I want us to go into a little bit about the importance of and value in understanding our HD as energy and our kids, because it's really different. The astrology is really great, but there's something like an added level in terms of value of understanding our child's energy through HD, right? So do share all the goodies. I know that I talk to my moms all the time about we have to self-care, prioritizing our energy, and so that we can handle all the things, treating ourselves, taking their self-care right there, right? And so talk to us about HD and parenting and your approach and the value of understanding that for our kids.
Yeah. So I love to think about, when we look at the holistic picture of the multidimensional people, humans that we are, we have to look at the layers and the levels. And one thing I really discovered within my work was like that the foundation. So when we are building a house, the foundation is the astrology where you speak to daily in your group, and that foundation, it's immovable. It is what it is. You've got to figure out a way to work with it and to love it and to embrace it. The human design is the next level and the next layer. And it's kind of the way we, structure the inside. So how we paint the walls, where we lay out our furniture, and it gives us the energy that moves within the house. And you can move it. If you keep tripping over the same couch or rug, you can move it. And it helps you to know, like, okay, this is the flexible part of me.
Yeah.
This is the part that I can work with a little bit. Or, there are higher and lower expressions to the astrology and to the human design. But I just find when you see it within the structure, the context of like, I can move some of this around a little bit, it gives you more play, and it gives you more flexibility.
So is our human design chart, though our natal human design chart is kind of a structure in itself in terms of our energy and like where we hold things in our body.
It's totally structured as well, but like you have what we would call the personality and then the design, and people are always kind of confused about these two things. And I like to think of the design, which is sort of that red part of the chart, depending on where you're pulling your chart from. But the charts that I look at, it's like the red side.
Okay.
And it's the left side. And what that is your ancestral wisdom. I like to think of it as like even past life experience. It is all this beautiful DNA that's come before. What has come before, which is still serving you in the now, because it's not like you just done with that life, it's gone.
Right.
But it moves with you. So it's like that bag you just can't get rid of,
Yeah.
And it comes with you, but it's there to help you and guide you and be of benefit. And then your snapshot of the personality now, this is like you took your first breath and boom, this is what you're working with in this lifetime. How am I going to make the best of it?
Okay.
But sometimes what happens, like, and this is like when we're talking about reactions with kids and parenting and just being a human in general, you sometimes respond to things and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, I don't even know who that was. It could have been like, maybe it was your grandma coming through. Like, I don't know. But I like to think of it like that. Like maybe it's just something crazy running in the background that you're just not fully aware of yet. I think when you get to your Chiron return, the design and the personality start to like come together to make sense.
Yeah,
But
Chiron
before that,
return.
it's just like, I don't even know what this is. Like when you update your phone and then all of a sudden your apps are moved all over the place and you've lost half of your pictures and like, what just happened here? That's kind of like that design piece running in the background.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
what's going on back there?
Okay. Got it. And so there are 5 types, right?
Yes,
Five human design.
so we'll just think the manifesting, like sometimes people will bump together,
Yeah.
and I don't like this because it's not very fair to the generators and the manifesting generators because they're unique in their own right. They
Yeah.
need to be separated out. So one is the generators are 37%. I believe the manifesting generators are 32%. Then we have projectors at 23%. We have manifestors at 8%, and reflectors at 1%, which is very, very rare,
Gotcha.
but like each design is so important and so critical in how we all work together and share this life experience.
Yeah, I mean, when you introduced me to mine, and I mean, I remember you describing me this. I'm a manifesting generator, right? So I remember you describing me as having like all these plates in the air and like being in the kitchen and like being able to do all these things at once. And every time I'm in the kitchen, like spinning like that, I think about it, and I'm like, this is me. I'm an
Yeah.
MG, like on fire, like
It's like,
constantly juggling
this
all
magical unicorn that can do all these things and should chase all shiny objects, like anything that turns them on, they should run towards.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you don't know that about yourself, you just feel like a total flake because you feel like I never finish anything. I'm starting all these things. And what's wrong with me? Nothing. That's just how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, you're just doing too much at once a lot of times. And also that I feel like I'm also capable of doing a lot at once. Like
Yes.
it's crazy what I'm capable of doing at one time when I'm in that mode. But I recognize that, my son is a generator. I think my son is a manifesting generator. I think my husband is a generator. So we still kind of have a little bit of that same, but one's emotional, you have these different,
Yes.
and the strategies come in and you're like, now I understand that. It's like another level, right?
Yes.
So I think it's important to understand also the energy of when you burn out, when your energy needs refueling. It depends on your type, and then also how you're responding to your child. So for you, how do you do that? What's a good approach? Could you start with just understanding the type and strategy? Where would a parent want to start?
I mean, the most important thing is getting to know, like, who are you? Who are your people? How
Yeah.
does this energy work together? And how can it exhaust the other one?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm a manifester. I live with 2 generators. I don't even know what the dog is, but she's probably a generator too. Like, it's all this energy that's like, go, 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 work, 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 la, la, la. And it's so exhausting. Like, I can't even sleep with them. Okay. That's how bad it is. I'm just like, and everyone leave me alone.
Yeah.
I just
They
need to
run
go.
hot too, right? They run hot.
Like, it's a thing. And it's interesting because, at nighttime, I need to dump energy, but they don't shut off. So their little engines are burning all night long. And like, it keeps me awake. So
Gotcha.
and it's a little, if it's something that's not widely accepted by society to not like sleep with your partner.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't even handle it. I mean, once in a while it's fine,
Yeah.
but I don't sleep. I don't get rested. And because I'm always wanting to do so much during the day, when I wake up exhausted, like no amount of coffee can save me, and it's hard. So for anyone who's a projector, a manifestor, a reflector, like the energy of your partner, if they're a generator or a manifesting generator, their little motors don't shut off, so it may be keeping you up, and it's okay to sleep alone. I just want to give you that little like, it's okay to sleep alone if you need to hear that today. But it's knowing, okay, well, I'm this, my child is this is how we're engaging. Okay. So just by design, then we look at, okay, their authority is how they make decisions. And
Mm,
knowing your authority helps you understand how do they make decisions. So if they're emotionally defined and that's their authority, it's going to take them time. They have this wave they have to ride and it's emotional, and they can't make the decision until they've moved all the way through the spectrum of that emotion for themselves, which could be a day, a week, a month, a season. I
yeah.
don't know. It depends on the person. And
Mhm.
it also depends on like the magnitude of the decision. We're not talking about like dinner decisions. We're talking about like massive decisions. With
Gotcha.
that in mind, they can't make quick decisions. So tell them you need to decide right now. They're going to make the wrong decision because they're going to be stressed.
Got you. Yeah. And you had said too in one of our conversations that it takes the first 7 years for the aura to
Fully
imprint, right?
develop.
To fully develop, right? Which is this first Saturn square. And we always talk about in astrology, the first 7 years are those heavy imprint years, important years.
Yeah.
So share a little bit about that, the development of the aura and how that comes into, and how obviously that makes it even more important and valuable to understand this about our children from a young age, right?
Yeah. I mean, we know this, they're very impressionable. Somebody once said, the way you interact or engage with your child, it's like, you know how when you put your hand on a flour bag, like a bag of flour, how it imprints, it's
Yeah.
like you're doing that to your child, that's how sensitive the imprint is. And we're like, oh God, how much have we screwed up already? But like, we can't always think that way, but what we can remember is they're just little sponges for those first 7 years. They're very attuned to
Yeah.
the environment, they're in tuned to their people, and they're very impressionable. So it makes a big difference, the words we speak, how we interact, and knowing, okay, well, if I have a Cancer son, which I do, he's way more sensitive than I am. I'm
Yep.
like, I explode and then it's over. He's like, oh my God. Like it's a whole thing. Like it's just a whole thing. So
Yeah.
we have to know, okay, well, I know he's more sensitive. So I'm way more patient
Hmm.
as he needs to move through all the emotions of the thing, and that it could
Yeah.
be forever, but I have to be in it with him because he needs to process this in whatever way he can,
Yeah.
and help and give them tools because they are so receptive. The tools we teach them in that first quarter, it's like it helps them navigate life more gracefully down the road. It gives, like, for an emotionally defined child, and he's not even emotionally defined, he's just like very sensitive,
Yeah.
but it's like it gives him more permission to be emotive, that it's okay to
Mm,
have all the feels, and all the feels help you be more creative. And how do I channel this and use this in my life going forward?
yeah.
And it may sound silly to talk to your child like that now, it will set them up for such success down the road,
Yeah.
and I talk to him kind of like a little adult sometimes, and maybe that's like not the best way, but it is just the way.
I think there are benefits to, it's like showing your kid respect even when they're young, and talking to them like an adult. And the thing I think is really cool about understanding human design is because it is energy. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. And talking to our kids about energy, it's like a science project, right? So you can say, look, you need a little bit more time. I know you feel really sensitive. Take your time. If it's okay. It's about teaching self-acceptance for how we operate, right? And then same thing with mom, going, okay, like I don't have the patience for this. So mommy needs a timeout. You're good. You take your
Yep.
time. And not being afraid to apologize when we have those moments. So it's, to me, it's not, more knowledge is power. So it's like next level power.
And having a friend on speed dial.
That
I
too.
need this. Like, is this the best? Because, like I'll be like, what's this astrology thing happening? You're like, what's this thing happening? And it's so nice to just like have that, or have a space where you can plug into. Like, you can't do this thing alone. You just
Yes.
can't parent alone. Like, you just can't. Even when you have a partner, like sometimes it's just not enough because
Yeah.
you're designed so differently that like the way your partner handles a situation and the way you handle it are like night and day. And sometimes it works to your benefit because you're like, I can't deal with all the drama right now. Like, you need to handle this emotion,
Yeah.
or vice versa, or one handles it just more gracefully than the other. And it's like, thank God I don't have to deal with that this
Right.
time.
Right. So
It
there's
does help.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So the easiest thing to do is to start with understanding your type, strategy, and authority, right?
Type, strategy, authority. These three things are alone is like the golden goose because it gifts you with the knowledge. What you do with that knowledge is then up to you. And it's the daily integration. Like, here's the thing, you go for a reading. It's like you go to the gym once and expect a six pack. It's not how it works.
Right.
You need the integration. You need the support in the process because it's like, the things, but what do you do when you have an experience that you're like, I don't know what to do with this?
Yeah.
Then you have some way, shape, or form to like talk it out. And I keep telling Dom, I'm like, girl, we use Voxer all the time. I'm like, set up
I know.
walkie-talkie helpline for parents.
I'm in the process of doing that for sure. I was like, I need to create because it's the challenge with parenting is because everyone's got a schedule. It's hard to do like a group container that I can meet,
Oh, yeah.
regular. So it's like, yeah, just Venmo Vox, let's go. Just answer me your questions. If once we've done the work and you understand your child's astrology, your astrology, and then you're in the moment, like, just hey, box me. And then so yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it.
I keep
And
encouraging her. Don't worry, everyone, it's coming.
yes, thank you. What is that? I have something to respond to.
Yeah,
You
so
just gave me something to respond to.
everyone, I love it. My friend Tracy says everybody needs a manifestor in their life because we're here to initiate people. We're here to like, give you things to respond to, give you things like if you're a projector, you need to wait for an invitation, and waiting for an invitation can be like painful. So it's having somebody constantly initiating you gives you those things to respond to and be invited to, and like it opens up your world to evolve and grow. Like that's what we're all doing here. We're not just like plodding along, we're evolving and growing. And it's nice to know more about your own energetic signature because it gives you the permission to be you 100% unapologetically and you living your life authentically. And I know that word is thrown out like candy these days, but like being authentic is just like literally embodying the best parts of yourself and living it every day.
Yeah,
Living it every day.
absolutely. And you being the manifestor and the Venus vibes girl. So you have a lot of these, you're creating these containers where you're helping women in particular in managing their own energy to find their own success and their own, power within, which I feel like, I'm saluting you on and right there with you. But I know a lot of your women are moms, and I know that that's like something I'm always thinking about. I'm like, you need to come back and talk more about this for my moms because I know a lot of the women that you're serving are also mothers, and there's that element to it as well. So talk about what you do for women because it does start with us first. We really do set the tone in our homes, and energetically taking care of ourselves is so important for our others, our people, our kids, and everything. So share a little bit more about what you do in the groups you're doing to be that support for women.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's like a loaded question. There's just so much like it. There's
I
so
know
many
you're
places
doing a
I
lot.
could go with this. Okay. But let me try to think about, the best way to answer this question. So I do think, yes, I do work with women exclusively. I do work with some moms and some who are not, but no matter where you are on the spectrum, you are engaging with adults and children all the time, every day. So whether they're your own or somebody else's, like you have the opportunity to figure out different ways to be in your own energy and engage. And yes, you go first. You always go first. You lead yourself first, and other people are impacted by the way you lead because of your energy. Energy and emotions are your energy and motion. So we're constantly moving through something. It's never like done with that, took that course, I'm good now. It's
And everybody's always moving through something.
always move. And then there's transiting things and
Yes,
all the other things.
Yes.
It's always moving. Energy is always moving. It doesn't stop moving. So we have to find a way to navigate it. And with the women that I work with, the best way I've found to deal with being more in your feminine energy is understanding where Venus is and where the moon is.
Ah,
So
yes.
that's one of the things that I, created this divine feminine frequency, which is a daily vox Monday to Friday, letting you know where they are and how this energy could affect where it could show up physically for you in your body or in your environment, right? So I created this beautiful container that kind of helps you understand Venus and the moon in your own chart, but also as she transits to see how this energy can show up for you. And it's called the Divine Feminine Frequency.
Love it.
And so it's easy, it's inexpensive, and it's just a nice way to feel connected. So that was one thing that I noticed. Okay, well, the moon is what is our emotional set point. So when we learn to follow her, it shows us how we may be feeling in different times of the month because she moves so quickly through the
Yeah.
signs that it's like maybe you find in certain signs you get more done. Like for me, I notice when the moon is in Taurus, I'm like, I get way more done,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And so it's just like noticing these subtle little things. And like with Venus, when she moved into Sagittarius today, I was like, I finally came out of the swamp. I feel like I am washing the muck and the mud off and feeling dried by the warmth of the
Hello, you're
season.
having champagne right now. You're like
Right?
celebrating Venus and
Right?
Sag, right?
Right. Because,
Absolutely.
we need that. We need places we can go to celebrate and like feel seen and feel heard and all of that. So, yeah, that's one of the ways. And I feel like I love doing readings for people. I know they help you to get that initial understanding, but it was like, now what?
Right.
Now what? What do I do with this? And so it was figuring out different options for integration, and I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah.
But I did create like a beautiful opportunity for those who are ready because like and you're going to tell your moms like next year is going to be bananas. Like it's the biggest energy since 2020 and it's like, ooh, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Without going all doomsday.
And what
You
does it
know,
mean for me? Right.
what does it mean for me and my family and my life,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, okay, well, here's how you might be able to navigate this more gracefully. Here's how we can clean up the rest of this year. Like, I think there's this part that we forget to do at the end of the year to celebrate how far we come. Like, we survived the first,
Yeah.
11 months of the year, and like, holy moly, we've only got 1 month left,
Yeah.
so it's a celebratory place and
Yeah.
phase. And it's been 3 years since I offered this, what I call the badass breakthrough. And it's like the black sheep edition. And what it is like owning your individuality, owning that part of you that has always been denied because somebody
Mhm.
said, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that, you're too unconventional, you're too whatever it is. And it's like, but that's what makes us all so perfect.
Yeah.
We are perfectly imperfect and we need to celebrate the parts of us that are so different because they're how we show up every day,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so how can I show up more powerfully every day is basically what it's about,
Love it.
but also teaching women, how can I create multiple streams of income? Because that's one of the things that I'm great at, that I love, that it's just something I never worry now. Like if I have a job,
Yeah.
right? Which is like a 3-letter swear word in my world. But like if I have just one job and I get let go from that job, I'm so in trouble.
Yeah.
Whereas if I have different ways that I have income coming into me, if one of my streams goes down, I'm not freaking out about it. And I
Yeah.
believe that this is where we're all going. And so like,
Yeah.
with moms, like Hunter's part of my business, like he's helping making the candles and doing the things.
Yes. Love
So I
it.
want to be able to like host a program that helps teach you your energy, but also teach you ways to be more creative, more inspired, more abundant. It's all the things that are Venus. Like I'm a
Yeah.
Venus ruled person. So how can I teach you what I know to be true for myself in a way that can impact your family? The more money you make, the more successful you become, the more abundant you are, the more self-worth you build within yourself. You show up with your head held high in your family, in your life,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yep.
And you make decisions based on your heart's desires, not based on your bank account or like, oh, I've got to marry this dude because he's got money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's something people need to hear, you know, whether they're ready for it or not,
Yeah.
whether this is the podcast for it or not, it's coming here. You heard it here first, folks. You know, like if that's
Yeah.
if that's the reality, which I do know that many people are in that reality.
Yeah.
How can you help yourself? Number one way, get to know how your energy wants to flow.
Absolutely. And
Number two, figure out what the hell to do with it.
right. And how to manage it, you know, how to navigate it and ebb and flow with your energy throughout a year, you know, throughout a day, right? It's like constantly being aware of that. And I think that the astrology and human design, I mean, I know they're rooted hand in hand, you
They're
know,
married.
they're
They're a
married. They're married.
match made in heaven.
Yeah. But I do think it's kind of cool to like know with the human design where things manifest in our bodies too. The whole physicality thing is really big as well. So I feel like it's priceless for us, another wonderful resource for us as women, as moms, handling all the things. And I do think the future is multiple streams of revenue. I don't, you know, I think the pandemic threw the regular job out the window, and everybody's looking to do things different and more heart centered, more aligned with who they
More
are,
fun.
more fun, all of that. And being examples of that for even our kids. And I think they're headed in different directions too, in terms of tech jobs and like AI and like all of these crazy, you know, metaverse things that we can't even wrap our heads around yet. You know what I mean?
Oh, we have no idea what's coming. And
Yeah.
it's kind of exciting and it's also terrifying because like we want to be able to the one thing that will never change is knowing about your energy. Like I'll tell you right now, it's a job you can never go wrong in.
And it never ends. You're always learning about it, learning, you know, and because it's always changing and we're ebb and flowing and we have different energies, you know, in the cosmos, you know, affecting us or, bumping up against our own frequencies, that we're
Yeah.
always on a daily learning how to do that. And it's like we're all these little balls of energy like bumping up against each other in our homes and in our lives,
I mean,
trying to
you know,
survive.
we've talked about this before, but your heart literally like it radiates out 10 feet.
Whoa.
10 feet. So, you know, when you talk about energy, your energy shows up before you do. It is true. When you send an email, there's an energy that goes out with that email. When you show up on a Zoom call, there's an energy that shows up when you show up. Like it's a thing and it's a frequency. It's
Yes.
not about how you look. I mean, how you look is really a direct reflection of the frequency you're working on, that you're calibrating. So when we talk about the human design system, when we think about your head is just meant to like plug you into all the beautiful possibilities, potentials, opportunities, you know, like it's playing in the space of what it could be. And
Yeah.
that creates a feeling. So, you know, really feeling all of the feels and letting those emotions run a little wild creates a feeling that gives you a frequency. The feelings create the frequency. The thoughts create the feelings create the frequency only magnetizes. So if you're thinking, I want to do this thing and it's going to be so amazing, and you get down to the feeling and you're feeling really good, and then all of a sudden it goes, but who are you to do that? The feeling just went,
Yeah.
dropped out, and now you're calibrating. Yeah, I'm a loser, baby. Yep,
And
I'm a
that's
loser.
what, and then there's nothing to match. And so, or you're not
Well, then
matched.
you're matching more experiences of the crap you've already got, and you're wondering, why am I getting the same crap?
Yes.
It's literally based on like thought, feeling, calibrate,
Yeah.
you know, thought, feeling, frequency. And how do I change up my frequency? I change up my thoughts, I change up my feelings, and boom. If this is the same in the household. If your household is crazy right now, if you're a mom and you're coming in and your house is nuts and your family's out of whack, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Because you're contributing to that.
I was just going to say that a good, like you said, you know, the thought, the feeling, the frequency is that's a really good practice right there for all women and moms in a house full or whatever.
What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Because that's what I'm attracting.
Exactly. And that's what I'm creating more of in my environment. Right.
Yeah. When you look around and you're like, God, I hate this house. God, I hate this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, the only way to get out of that spin cycle is to start thinking differently and acknowledging, not saying like, because this is the thing people will say, oh, we'll just like think it into reality. Well, yes, you can think it into reality, but it's that you got to have this conversation in your head first that says, I know we're not there yet, and I know we're still living in a place we don't love, but I can feel into what it would feel like for me to step into like my own home, for me to walk across my favorite tiles, for me to make my coffee in my most dreamy kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And you play in what that would feel like. Because the longer you can hold the frequency of that feeling, the more it's finding you. It's finding you. It's finding you. It's finding you. It's coming to you. Experience, opportunities, and the people and all of the things are finding you. They're coming to you. But when you're in that stinking thinking, that's what you're getting.
Yeah, menopause thing, stinking thinking.
Yeah,
I always remind myself of that. This is so great for Sagittarius season and like launching us in. We know that Venus is in Sag, Mercury's heading to Sag, and I'm talking about yeah, and our perspective and really thinking about what we're thinking about. You know, how the process of our mind and where our brains are at, our thoughts are at, and what kind of energy or frequency that's creating or feeling that's creating, and then recognizing, oh wow, that's why this is happening or that's not happening because I'm vibing at this frequency. So I think it's a good time to take advantage of that vibration and broaden our perspective. Think, try something different, try to think in a different way, or the monkey mind, kind of different conversations with yourself, and then test how that makes you feel, and then test the responses, the frequency and what you end up attracting. Right? That'd be kind of a good
fun. Way more fun.
Way more fun.
Way more fun. How can it be more fun?
Yeah.
How can it be more fun? What else is possible?
This is so cool. I mean, I love human design, and I feel like I want to take a course and learn it, but I'm so like, I just absorb from you and learn from you over the years because I don't think I could go down that rabbit hole entirely. That system is so rich and so deep. And so I just go, okay, stay in your lane, love your astrology, and just
maybe one day that's where you track down. This is the thing. It's never like just one thing. And as we evolve, I think we move away from it has to be this way or this way. It has to look like this or that. It can be true. All of the things. Like as we move into more dimensionality, multi-consciousness, all of the things.
Yeah.
It's opening up the doorway for us to like finally be fully creative beings, co-creating a life experience that we desire, not what we think it needs to be. We're changing all of that.
Absolutely.
And we're the generation that's doing that. Our parents were not thinking about the same things. Their parents were certainly not thinking about the same things. Conscious parenting was not a thing.
It wasn't. Yeah, and I was just talking when I was talking with Rick Levine. I did an interview with him, and he was talking about that too, in terms of like our kids come in, they know way more. I mean, the veil is getting thinner and thinner as we evolve, and that it's not even about us guiding them. It's about letting them guide us in a lot of ways. They already are at a different frequency than we are. We're definitely doing things different than our parents and our generation, our parents' generations, but our kids are the next generation. Like it was almost like the things we're guiding them through, we aren't even going to probably be here to see or enjoy. Like they're leading the way, So it's really fascinating. And it's yet another like rabbit hole we can keep going down. But I mean, I want to keep having you on. I was like, let's do another chat about this. It's especially with Sag season and energy and vibration just being so, it's such a nice change. I love Scorpio season. We love going deep, but
it might even be fun if like you put it out into the group to just say, hey, does somebody want to, flip us their chart and we can go through like a live experience of like an actual troubled place that they're having trouble communicating.
Yes.
Or, being in the vibes with their people.
Like some hot seat coaching with astrology and HD. I love it. I love it.
Let's do it in the Zoom boom room.
Yeah. Well, this was a great chat. I know we've been chatting for a while and I know
Yeah.
I'll have you back, but I just wanted to bring you back in with this, energy we're moving into is so exciting, and an opportunity to share a little bit more with my parents and families and followers about you. I love you to death, love what you're doing. And I know we'll be having you back for sure.
Thank you, my darling. I appreciate being here. I'm excited to see how all of your stuff evolves over this next little while as well.
Thanks, Lev. We'll talk soon.
Okay, talk soon. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening, and I hope you gained some great astrology insight and inspiration from today's show. I'd love to hear, so drop me a comment or share in a review. Check out the show notes for all the details and links about today's episode, how you can connect with me on social or work with me directly. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Oh, and for my moms out there, be sure to join my private Conscious Parenting with Astrology Moms group on Facebook. Come join a growing community of like-minded mamas supporting each other in the hardest job in the world with the help of astrology. Hope to see you over there. Take care and keep nurturing the nature, friends. I'll see you on the next episode.